Hey, turn my headphones up.
Turn your headphones up.
Turn my headphones up.
All right, did he?
A little bit more. Where my headphones at?
Bow, 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 bow.
Man, that beat is fire.
Oh, man. That's nice. Like I said, y'all got to be here with us when we start these shows, man. I always like this is a 100 show, man. I'm trying to tell you, like, it's so many things people try to put on with these shows and you know, act certain ways. That ain't us. This could be the realest show you ever.
Natural.
Like, be honest with you, we were just in here recording for a few minutes, and we forgot to press record.
We had a good ass show. Y'all should have heard it.
Probably the best show we ever had, but nobody got it. So, anyhow, we're here. And
we are here.
One of them weeks, man. Like I said, it was a week, brother. I need this. I need this conversation.
Yeah.
The cocktails. My brother's drinking his mocktails.
Yeah.
Water.
There it is. Water to wine.
Okay, Jesus.
Served by Jesus. Matter of fact, y'all gonna see that. I'm gonna take me a picture with Jesus throwing the water in the wine. Y'all gonna be like, this dude here.
This mother skunk, right?
Blessed.
What do you say? Don't keep the party going. So we out here. Yeah, man, we out here. First off, I want to thank our producers for putting up with me and my foolishness.
Man, look, they hold it. They stay down, man.
Oh, they stay down like 4 flat tires in a Cadillac, as they say. My homies, I pissed them off this week, but they be out here. We out here.
Like they think we bullshit on the pod. It's like you should see the faces in here. It's like emojis.
You can cut the tension in this mug.
I'm telling you,
with a butter knife. You don't even need a sharp knife. Just a butter. Like, man, this is just a lot going on in here. But they might want to open the door. So we here. Take off all your clothes. So we cheer.
Yeah,
We cheer. Today's conversation is a mixture of, I guess it's always reality with us.
Oh yeah.
But this is like some levity and with the reality, I guess, a little bit of laughter.
Yeah.
As usual.
Yeah, we just want to remind y'all of the times. You know what I'm saying?
Do you remember the time?
Oh, why?
It ain't 6 seconds, producer.
Look, I remember when I had that do-rag, man. I ain't have not one wave. Bro, I ain't have a ripple.
You have a ripple,
but
guy.
I stayed with the do-rag.
I remember to go with that do-rag. Remember that orange can, Supergirl, whatever? Everybody wore it. Man, it made your hair just feel like paste. It was stuck in steel. But you ain't do nothing with it. Your hair still couldn't form a wave to save your life.
Man, look.
Couldn't form a wave to be in, and you was in the ocean, just blank.
It was there. Some of y'all remember that was right by the time one of y'all used to be No Limit Soldiers. I remember. I remember y'all was there.
And you remember you walking around, with that baby fat coat, holding up, covering up their pregnancy too.
Everybody knew that one. Everybody knew that. You might have been that one.
Yeah, walking around. Why is her coat always zipped up? And my phone, disrespectful right there.
You remember them Nokias? My phones.
Oh man, remember Snake? Right. That damn Nokia phone would outlast any phone that we have on that
somebody
battery.
Got one in their drawer right now, and that shit still got 75% battery. Our producer.
That same white Nokia.
Oh,
got a blue one. And then after that was the Emerson one. Yep. That came with the black one I had right after that.
So I'm like, man, I remember that.
That's Thomas Edison's version of the phone. Man, like the light bulb. It just goes on forever.
I remember. Do y'all remember when you thought you was going to be somebody else?
Oh, man, brother.
And that reality hit your ass.
Did you not? I'm going to be the next Michael Jordan when I grow up.
Bro, we were going to be Drew Hill here.
We
was Drew Hill, man.
Oh, no. We was Boys to Men. Remember when they came out? Oh, no. What's the one? Not After 7. The one, ooh, da-da-doo.
Oh, man. Was that Shy?
Yes. Yes.
Man, look.
Everybody walking around the school making the acapella songs, singing, and you listen to this song. I'm talking to you directly because you was probably one of them. Even if you couldn't sing, you were trying to jump in somebody's choir session. Ooh, da-da-doo, da-doo.
And they always had the short friend with the light voice to hit, my friend. He was gonna jump in. He was gonna jump in there. Everybody got to get that part.
Oh, man. And then we came in the Boys to Men.
Man, look.
Motown Philly, eating chicken.
Lord.
Oh, man.
Look. I remember.
The nostalgia that we go off nowadays is just dope. Now we're getting younger. I ain't getting old. I'm getting young.
Oh, okay, I claim it.
Okay. I'll get mature. So as we getting older and we're looking at things, it's just like, bruh, the things we took for granted back then.
Oh, yeah.
Like cartoons on Saturday mornings.
Hell, like no bills.
That's a big one right there.
Really took that shit for granted. They ain't telling, I want to be grown. They ain't telling bills don't stop.
Bills never go. This is a never ending story right here.
Man, what you talking about?
Betray
man?
you.
You used to sing, can you pay my bill? And I'm gonna be like, can you pay my bill? Can I pay my bill?
Pay my bills. Let me hold some till Friday.
Can we put that past due?
Yeah, what is that? Can we work something out? What's the thing?
Put something on it.
Yeah, put something on this bill.
We work out a payment arrangement.
Payment arrangement, that's what it was. Yeah, the payment arrangement, that saves your life most times.
Man, look.
If you sitting up here trying to act like you don't know what we're talking about, get your bougie behind off this.
You was calling somebody a scrub.
Oh, man, I'll jump off that. So I remember when I was in college, right? All my partners got our cars at different points. But everybody by junior year had their car. It was dope. I enjoyed it. We weren't supposed to have them, so some of our stuff was off campus. Anybody went to these colleges and these backwood towns know what that is? When you can't have your car, you got to sneak it off, leave it off campus at somebody's house, park it in the store lot somewhere and pray they don't get towed. All these different things. So, yeah, we had that. And I always, but everybody carried their keys. And I always wanted to I drove when we went out those evenings in the club. And I always wanted to be like, somebody pull up, y'all scrubs, because y'all in the back seat. I want to be like, everybody pull your keys out. Ain't no scrubs in this car. Y'all full of scrubs over there. But never had the opportunity to do it, unfortunately.
I used to drive around and I had a new Cadillac. You know what I'm saying? I had the SUV Cadillac I used to drive. And they used to be like, oh, you look nice. I'm like, yeah, man. My mama car.
And my mama and them, baby. My mama and them.
She living good.
The one Cadillac I drove, I was flossing, and it was, I want to say, it was my son's mother's, I want to say her friend's, because her brother took it to prom. It was a pink Fleetwood DeVille, Fleetwood, whatever. It was a big, long one. And I think it was like a 90 version of it. That mug was nice. It was sitting on 20s.
Oh,
had
man.
a sound system in it. And I think it was David Banner's song, Pretty Pink. I wrote the Pretty Pink in that car. It was just a beautiful, just anyhow, man. Just nostalgia, just throwback memories of things. You're like, yeah, man, I remember doing this. I remember that. But we here now.
Yeah.
And used to bees don't make no honey.
That's the truth.
That's it. So all those things that happened back then, how are they helping us now?
Yeah. How do they measure up?
Like we started this conversation before because it was more of like growing up. You remember when you used to think that by the time you were 30,
30,
you would be rich.
Yeah. Balling.
I had my own house, 2 cars. I ain't worried about the girlfriend or the wife. It's just the girlfriend or just I got my own, doing well. Or the female thought she'd be living the lap of luxury with Louis Vuitton bags and red bottom Birkin shoes and everything else. And now you hit 30, you're like, what the hell?
That cost.
What was I? But even with the cost, some of us are still.
Yeah.
Like the thing about Atlanta, I love our city, but this is one of the biggest flossing cities at times.
Oh yeah.
We are in debt to ratio income. We are in the top 5 or 10, I think. Always have been for at least 5 to 10 years. We've been in that category of people living beyond their means. I mean, when I was working in the bank, and this sister would come down, and she was like an executive or something, executive assistant, whatever. I was working at the main regional branch, and she would come down, and she would be paying her house note.
Yeah,
her house note was like $3,000 a month.
Back then,
right? This is like 2010-ish.
Back then,
right? And I remember
the crash.
Right. I remember asking her one day, I was like, what the world? She was like, yeah, this is why I work. She said, because if I miss this, because she literally took her one check and that paid the note on the house. I was just like, man, if you mess up a check, you messed up. She said, that's why I'm always working, because I always knew she was working. And I was like, we're working just to live. Yeah. Which we're supposed to anyhow.
But you slaving.
You slaving right now, partner.
It's toll.
And it's just, I don't know, just all the thoughts that we used to have.
Yeah. In a way you thought it was going to be this way. And you remember, oh man, I was going to do X, Y, and Z, but you got to have a plan for that.
That's where we going, brother.
And the crazy part is a lot of people have an aspiration.
Ooh.
And you know what? I'm going to be but they have no plan. And the other thing is on the way, shout out to Dr. Siddiqui. He said, it's not about the destination, it's the journey.
Oh, come on, brother.
We got to enjoy the journey. Because one thing I learned is on the journey, on the way, what a journey will do is check your dream. It will check your reality or your goal. Because a lot of us get on that journey, you're like, I'm not enjoying myself. This is not really what I want to do. What am I doing this for? And if your why is not strong, then your what is never going to happen. And
I'm agreeing with you, brother.
It's one of those things when you really are in tune with yourself. It's that gut check, because you're not the same person that you were back in the day. You ain't no limit soldier no more.
Right.
You got plenty of limitations now, bro.
Use a limited Folger at this point. Like, I'm good. I'm 40 years. It's 8 o'clock. Time to go.
You can't party like you used to. But the thing is, on the journey, on the way there, your why has changed. Like, you got a family now.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? You have responsibilities. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, what you want to do will either enhance that or it will weaken you. And the thing is, I think in the word it says that if you falter or waver during adversity, then your faith ain't strong enough. Right. And so that's one thing that we have to really check is, what is our faith? What do we have faith in? Because a lot of us wanted things and it went for us. You know what I mean? You wanted to be a rapper and then you just now figuring out you can't rap. A lot of us have neglected those things. We going back to the person that we used to be. And then you like, man, you realize you were a child, and you had no idea what you were asking for, because you quit asking for what you wanted and you started asking for what other people wanted. And you adopted that as yours. Well, really, you would have been better at this, or you would have been better at that. And a lot of us get that gut check, And one thing that I've learned is, in your pursuit of something real, all it takes is a seed to be planted. And I ain't talking about a positive seed. Sometimes somebody come to you, you think you're really ready for that?
Throw you off balance.
You think you can handle that? And that seed, if you have doubt in you, that doubt will start nourishing that negative seed. And I might not be able to handle this. I think I might be on the wrong path. I don't even think this all worth it. But that's why you have to be resilient. That's why you have to be solid in who you are. So when you envision that life, when you envision that thing, first of all, it's got to be your vision. You know what I mean? It got to be something that God gave you, something that really is what you want. And then, you know, that I remember when I used to think becomes, man, I actually did it. I remember when this used to be a dream. Because a lot of us don't give credit to the stuff that we have done.
You know, people, I'm not, let me say this before I even get into that. Disclaimer, I'm not saying anything about the person.
This is a disclaimer.
About the Brother Sadiqi's comment, because I hear people say a lot of time it's not the destination, it's the journey. I wholeheartedly agree with that one for the most part. Always, but I also think it is the destination because the destination is where you're going. You need to enjoy the journey to the destination.
Oh, yeah.
Because the journey, like you said, it defines who you are. Because if you took away all the things that got you to the point you are here today, you wouldn't be the same person no more.
That's true.
So at some point you gotta, you know, again, we speak facts and stuff over here. So a person who's been abused in their life, a person who's got, you know, abused, period, molested and whatever else, at some point, that changed them.
Yeah.
Right then, and then it took another moment where they changed again. Like we said a few shows back when we were talking about, and I was sitting about to code out, and the four parts of recognizing with God, and the first part being, I don't remember the 4 parts anymore at this point, but the last part being, the last 2 being accepting God for what it is, and then just let your will be done. And when you accept it, you start to move on the path that's for you.
That's true.
And not, okay, this is what I want to do. Okay, nah, God, this is what you want me to do. And as Muslims, we're taught, and not just Muslims, a lot of people, you give your children a guidance in life of what they need to do. Yeah. It's not that they have to be that. Like my mother and father told us growing up, my sons will be doctors and my daughter will be a lawyer. It was not the end all of what we had to do, but it was to put us on a road to higher achievement.
Yeah.
Now, along the road, we busted up a lot of times. I didn't become the doctor. When I was 18 years old, I was taking classes over at Morehouse in high school. And right before I went to college, my father just asked me, son, what do you want to be? He said, do you want to be a doctor? I said, no. No, not at all. I want to be a fashion designer or something. And he was like, all right, well, that's good. But don't be the fashion designer because you always be working for somebody. Go learn business. Then go back, get your fashion line, and then do what you want to do. Boom. But what it did was put me on the journey to become better.
Yeah.
But most of us don't get on this damn journey because we don't have a destination. And then this develops to where we are now with the remembering when, but you remember when, but you didn't change it.
Yeah.
So you have the destination, but along the ride, things change. Like you said, you get children. So you can't go be hot girl summer no more. Nah. You sit your behind down. Well, you have
the winter after that.
It's gonna be his
knees.
Right. You have you get into an accident and it messes up your knee, so you can't go play basketball no more. So now what do? You don't sit around and used to bees don't make no honey. I remember when I did this and I was in college and I did all this. You now have to adjust.
Yeah.
Rearrange the picture to something better for you and keep moving.
I'm telling you.
But most of us ain't rearranging these pictures.
Yeah.
And this is what's going on when we talk about mental health nowadays. I'm kind of segueing into some other stuff, I guess. But, I'm going to have one of these 100 conversations real quick. So this week was a rough week for me. I told my brother a few minutes before I got on the show that I think everything hit me at one point this week. Life, children, relationships, financials, business, doing everything, and it just hits you. And I sat, and my sister called me because her tire got a flat. And I had just got home a few hours before, and I was tired. But it's like 9 o'clock in the morning. My sister, I gotta get little man to school, and I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I know you sleep, bro, but can you come help me out? All right, cool. I got a little air thing in the car, so I went down there and gave her the air thing. And then 5 minutes after that, I was about to leave, but I had a conference call for a court appearance for some business that went wrong. This is reality,
you
right
tell
here.
him, man, you going to jail, man.
No, let me put that bullshit out there. Nah, a court for a contract that had went wrong. And I'm having to rearrange this and, make payment plans and shit like that. All that stuff is like, and it just hit me. And I sat in my sister's driveway and fucking cried.
Yeah.
And I haven't cried since coding out.
Yeah.
And before coding out, almost, I hadn't cried in damn near a year. Actually, nope. I had a bad situation. Sorry, I forgot about that one. Heartbroken and whatever the Brandy song is, broken hearted. So,
Yeah.
but again,
it happens.
Man,
though.
it happens. And that's the lesson I want to, God taught me a lesson on that one. So I sat there and cried. But it happened some years in between all the stuff that I've been crying. But at the point of me sitting down, breaking down and crying, and I couldn't enjoy the damn breakdown because my phone ring and business kept going.
There it is. Then you got to straighten up.
You got to shake it off and keep moving. But this is going, and I'm moving towards where I'm at right now, is mental health.
That's true.
For all of us. Because this is the reason why society is what it is right now, man.
Yeah.
We are not handling it properly. We are not figuring out let's deal with reality. What the fuck is wrong with us?
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing about having a great mental health is that we have to remember that we don't have the society that we used to. We had tribes, we had elders, we had a lot more moral standards, we had a lot more things that you could pull from. And society was a lot more simple. And with all the things and obligations, see, the thing is just like what they say, with much responsibility, much is required.
Right.
And the thing is, all of us men get to the point where we have to give things to God. And I love it. I remember seeing Macho Man on, what was that, like Arsenio Hall.
Macho Brandy.
And he asked him, does Macho Man cry? It's like, yeah, he cried. This is Macho, big guy. You know what I mean? But, all men cry. And the thing is, we have to learn to give things up to God. When we don't do those things, when we don't have our time periods where we can be vulnerable, sometimes it's just us and God.
It is.
And a lot of us are not comfortable giving that up. And what happens is when you don't put things into his hands, it shortens our life. Well, a lot of guys, when they have those heart attacks, when they have those strokes and they don't know how to give things over to God.
Bruh.
Because you can only do so much. You can do so much, but you can only do so much.
That is it.
And that's the thing. When we learn to say, look, you take it as far as you can. And whatever you can't do, he'll do the rest. And that's the period where we like, okay, well, let the chips fall where they may. I've done everything. And the thing about it, I had to learn that myself, was to get help. And for those of y'all who don't know, I'm a veteran as well. And I've gone to mental health counseling, and I still do. And a lot of us are putting on burdens on ourselves unnecessarily. And we don't realize that God has people in place for that. You're looking for the miracle, but he's already made it happen. That's why he has professionals, so we can understand what's going on in our minds. We have people in place, but a lot of us, especially as men, don't know who to get help from, when to get help, and how to give up that thing. And so it'd be a learning lesson. It's like, man, well, what? And God be like, well, I'm waiting on you. I've been right here.
Right.
You've taken it, give it to me. He says that take on my yoke. My yoke, my burden
my
is light.
yoke is light.
Yeah.
But like you said, the pertinent or the quintessential word, my.
Mm-hmm.
My.
Mm-hmm.
And too many of us are taking on the burden of others and the world. And I'm looking at and these false ideologies, but false ideas of what reality is supposed to be. Like
that come from that remember when.
Right.
You thought that you was going to be this thing. You're trying to measure up to something that was imaginary. A lot of us imagine this superhero, macho man, rock star rapper, and we're trying to live up to something that wasn't real.
That's never been real.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And a lot of us, you said something, taking on your burden. Now, this shout out to my brother, my youngest brother, Terrence, the hitman Hargrove. But he said something like this, I was taking on, at one of my commands, they used to call me Atlas because I had the world on my shoulders. I was carrying everybody's burden. And my brother, Terrence, he said, Tim, you're carrying everybody on your back, but you got broken legs. You got to heal yourself and be able to stand up on your own. Build yourself to the point where you can carry yourself and others. And then you have the ability to carry someone else. When you have the strength to do more than you can for yourself. And that was something I was always trying to help somebody before I was able to help myself. When really, we need to help ourselves first. And a true friend, someone who actually cares about you, when you're wanting to make this venture and we're going in a direction, the people who really love you will ask you, wait, is that what you really want to do?
Right.
Like your father said, hey, is that what, for me, that was my sister. I know you want to go to college, but why haven't you looked at what you want to do? Let's go to our institute.
Right.
Let's go here. You interested in doing something with your craft. Let's go here. Let's go there. Let's look at some places. And some of us have that thing and we're taking on way too much. Yours, this is your lot. Take on your lot. Everyone else, their problems will be their problems. I had a really good friend of mine said, you know what? If you didn't have my help, what would you do? And a lot of people will come to, especially if you're used to being in a big brother role or a father role or a leadership role, everyone comes to you for help. But as a leader, it's lonely at the top because when you need help, people are looking at you as if you're superhuman, like you never have a bad day, like you never need help. You're always the one giving money, giving advice, giving folks a place to stay, a job opportunity. But then when your night comes, who's going to be the shining light
for you?
When it's your dark day, and we have to understand, especially those of us who are leaders, that it's okay to have a vulnerable moment. It's okay to sit your black ass down. It's okay to take a break, take a vacation, it's okay. That job is going to be there.
It is.
And if you don't take it, y'all should see our producer, right?
Yeah, she sit up
and
here.
I'm about to pass the collection plate.
Right. We even need those
honestly,
collections.
We look at some of our celebrities.
Look at Jamie Foxx right now, brother.
Got sick.
He got sick, and they had a few days left. And I understand it was a while with them waiting, but instead of them waiting for the brother to get well, they just said, you know what, we're gonna get a replacement and finish this out. Yeah. Same thing with Red Fox.
Yeah,
I'm saying it wrong, I think, but the man kind of passed out, died on set, and the producers kind of walked over him while he was still on set and was like trying to find a replacement to keep everything going. Like, as we said in another show, life keeps going.
Life.
It doesn't stop 1 millisecond.
Yeah.
Just because something happens to you.
Yep.
So you have to learn. It's like, shout out to Temple again. I love that sister. She always puts things in perspective. When I start talking with her, and she be, life is life. And then she was like, well, when's the last time you life for yourself, brother?
Oh.
Like,
punched you in the chest.
Right. Bing. Like, you sit up here helping everyone else, like you said. But I like how your brother put the perspective of a broken leg. You're carrying the world on your back. You ain't made to be Superman. You ain't God. Mm-hmm. My friends used to be like, you damn Captain Save-A-Ho. And you always trying to help everybody, but these folks ain't helping you.
Don't save her.
You don't want to be saved.
But that's
I ain't talking about women when I say it there. I'm talking about people.
But it's really people.
Yeah, it's people.
A lot of us are saving people who honestly
don't want to be saved.
They really don't. Or we're putting on too much. We're not allowing ourselves to actually be human. And it takes for those moments. And I'm glad that we are in this day and age, because especially men are killing themselves out there. They're really checking out. And they look just as happy on the inside. Like
the brother from Ellen.
Yeah, Stitch. Robin Williams. What's his name? The guy who was a Green Power Ranger. Frank.
He committed suicide. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of times we're looking at these people who we looking at as our heroes. Man, you just made me think about that.
That razor with that knife, baby.
It just when you look at these people who we look at it, oh, well, they're God amongst men. No, it's God is among us, but we're not the gods. We have a human body and we have a human experience, and it is our obligation to take care of ourselves. And if the mind ain't right, it don't matter what's going on with the body. It don't matter what's going on with your finances. It don't matter what's going on with your spouse or your children or how good they live in and how good your business is doing. If your mind is sick and the body is tired,
you need rest.
You need it. And, a lot of times we'll say, well, when you're tired, your body will let you know.
But a lot of times, you know along the way, too.
Our mind. Because we feel so enamored. We feel so obligated to be the best in our field or to be that strong, powerful person. Our producer said something that I never put in consideration.
What'd she say?
She said she hated the term strong black woman because it indicates that you don't need help, that you're not human.
Man.
And when I look at people say, well, black girl magic and I'm this and I'm that, but the thing is, it dehumanizes you. And when we look at our partners, a lot of us can recognize that someone else needs help. When do we recognize that about ourselves? What are the signs? I tell you the signs, because I shows that when you're starting to gray a little bit more, when you're not sleeping and you're jumping up before a lot of us jump up before our alarm, but when you can't remember the last time you had a vacation, when you can't remember when things were going, and a lot of times it's time to take a break.
I go even a step further, because that's true. You said, how do we recognize when we need to just break?
Yeah.
Like you said, your mind and body will actually tell you. Mm-hmm. Too often, God speaks to you in your own voice. As it says, he's closer to you than your jugular vein. Mm-hmm. And a jugular vein is your lifeline. But inside of you is God. Even like our other show, God's with you, but are you with him? Mm-hmm. So God will always send things. Even when you're trying to quiet him out, he will tell you, hey, you need to stop. Mm-hmm. Go to sleep. Don't drink that. Like, you'll get ready to drink a soda, and your mind will tell you, don't do that. Mm-hmm. I need to get some water. And you will still ignore it. God will tell, along the way of you getting to the point, because a breakdown like I had the other day was very small. in its own little way. That's just me, because I have been ignoring life so much that it was hitting me, and all in 1 week, everything hit me within a 2-day span of, you got to do this, take care of this, this is coming, and I just didn't feel like dealing with it. But along the way, my mind was telling me, hey, Yusuf, you need to go handle this. Hey, Yusuf, this is coming up. Handle it. But what do? Procrastination.
Yeah.
Procrastination does not lead to destination. Procrastination does not get anything done, because, like I always say, that procrastination to me is like you having this dirty pile in your house, and instead of you just taking the thing and cleaning it up, you'll sweep it under the rug. You'll throw the stuff in the closet and close the closet real quick. But what happens if you keep doing it after a while? You have this big hump in your rug. You have this bulge in your closet door. And then what happens? One day, everything just falls out.
Yeah.
Everything comes from under the rug. And now you're forced to deal with a bigger mess than what you had before, because now you have to deal with this.
Yeah.
You can't just push it back because it won't fit no more.
Yeah.
You have to now deal with this. And it's at that point is when the mental breakdown comes down for all of us. Mm-hmm. And you have to make a do or die decision. And a do or die decision is that a lot of us run from it. Mm-hmm. And this is why we have so many suicides at this point too. Yeah. Because life is lifing on a different level for us. Oh, yeah. This is the equivalent to me of the recession and the Great Depression of 1932. But this is a bigger version we're about to walk into.
Yeah.
Because the 1930s allowed you to be separate.
Yeah.
And what you dealt with by yourself, but you could confine and deal with it. It's like going, I won't say into a boxing match, but it is. Well, in a boxing match, it's one-on-one. So I can deal with this, me and you. I can just take this. Mm-hmm. But now you're going into like Ip Man.
You getting jumped.
And you getting jumped by everything, because you put everything out there in the world, and you have so many more things that you can deal with. Back in the 30s, you just had a job, a home. You may have a girlfriend, whatever you did on extra, but you didn't have clubs, jobs, school, social media, TV, bills, this, entertainment, all these new entities and amenities that you now add on to your life. But at the same time, as much as you're taking in, you're giving out.
Yeah.
And you're not recharging your own battery. Mm-hmm. And if you're not recharging your own battery and you just keep depleting yourself, what happens?
You're a dead battery.
You're a dead battery. If you become a depleted battery, what is your use? Exactly. And most of us have not found a way. And this is, I know this is a different kind of show for us today. Yeah. But this is just grown men having a conversation. And if you like the show today or not, hey, next week will be something different.
Go ahead and subscribe to this.
Please still subscribe. But the thing about the depletion is that, and I love this show because my brother is not a pastor. What did you say you were?
I was a minister.
A minister, because you ain't got your own flock.
No.
But
I minister to you in a heartbeat. I think
way.
That we all do. We all, and that's one thing that I want you to hold your thought.
Go ahead, brother. Hold on to it like a newborn baby.
When it comes to ministry, your life is a ministry to somebody. You know, a lot of people, look, whoever that God calls, he calls you through whatever you do. A lot of, it's people who will share Bible verses all day, but they mistreat people. Their life not speaking on anything. So they inspirational on paper, but in person,
it's garbage.
You know what I mean? It's like, come on, let your life speak in some way. But go ahead and finish your thought.
I was just saying I like the show because we're two different kinds in some ways. You being Christian, me being Muslim, Nation of Islam in particular, and our different mindset. At the same time, we are also aligned, and this allows everyone to see the aligning. But at the same time, what it also is showing that It's a spiritual adjustment that's needed in everyone's life.
Oh, yeah.
You can't get around God.
Yeah.
And too many of us are ignoring him. We don't have any type of connection with him.
Yeah.
And we think it's just a one-person type thing. And it's really not. Especially when you're a female. I'm talking particularly to my sisters who can give birth, women. Women. Is that when you are giving a seed to germinate and grow inside of you, to develop a new life, your connection with God should be the strongest in that moment than any other thing in your life, brother. Or sister, excuse me, at this point. Because you are, your brain is the etch-a-sketch that creates the mind pattern of this baby. Mm-hmm. Whatever you're watching, talking about, being around, atmosphere, whatever, you're creating this for your child. And this is what I tell sisters on different levels. Again, let me run real quick, my brother. Okay, so I'm running. I got my my Huaraches on today, so I can go a little bit longer. So the first part is, my sisters, that when you are, again, we're still on the same thing. Remember the time when, because remember the time when you was a baby, you sit up and acting like, "Ooh, we're gonna play house. We're gonna do this." Now you're not no longer playing house. You're at house. Yep. But in the fact of you playing house and now being house, is that what was your plan with the house? Yeah. You got with this dude, you ain't like him. You thought it was a nice booty call that night. Yeah. And it turned out to be a long haul. All right, now the long haul is here. Minister Farrakhan was talking about that one lecture recently. He was talking about how when a sister has a seed by a man she doesn't like, it's very crucial in the development, because her hate for the man is also being put into the damn child. Yeah. Her dislike for the man is also being reflected because she don't really like the fact that she's carrying this dude's seed. Yeah. And the baby taking in all of this. So now when we look at society, you have all these hateful little babies walking around from a bunch of single women. Mm-hmm. And the single women were not, well, they got in a relationship and divorced. It would happen one night type thing. Yeah. So the society is the reflection of the woman. What are we doing? And if we're not getting this right, it goes again when you get older in another situation. My sisters with the single boys. I tell this the other day that you are perpetuating or recreating the same BS that you hate in men nowadays. You're now recreating it with your son. Mm. So your daughter is going to have to deal with the same group of men that you're hating now when she gets older, because your sons and your nephews are doing the same thing that you hate the little boy, these grown men. So remember then, to the development of where we are now, what are we doing? What's the gap that's missing between us two? And how are we changing these things?
Well, let's talk about some solutions.
There we go.
The first thing that we have to do is we have to get connected. We have to get connected with God. And whatever religion that you are, like we're Christian and Muslim, but you may be Buddhist, you may be whatever it is, but you cannot do it on your own. I don't care who you are. Man, you can't do it on your own.
Say that again.
And so a lot of people have lost that connection. And it doesn't have to be through a religion, because the religion establishes what we call those moral standards, whatever it is to get you where you need to be. So trust me, you're going to find the truth. Trust me, if you ask for it, that's one of the most dangerous prayers that you can do. It's a dangerous prayer and it's a powerful prayer. I dare you to ask for the truth. And when the truth come knocking, here's the thing. Truth don't care who mouth it come out of.
Not at all, brother.
It don't care how it's, and when you see truth, nothing else measures up to truth as soon as you hear it. And the other thing is, let's talk about some other solutions. It is okay to go and see a therapist.
Brother.
It's paramount that you see a therapist. Some of us don't have parents. Some of us don't have friends. It's like hiring the best friend /parent / whoever it is that you can see. And it's plenty of programs out there. If you can't afford it, there are programs you can jump on 411 and they can show you programs that can go by your income or free. You know, I'm dropping jewels here. You know, you have to take care of your mental health.
Oh, man, I was looking for some coins. I'm going to drop on the table.
Man, look, I want some seasoning. Where our seasoning at? You know, look.
Got some water on you.
You know, look.
Some of us,
we can talk about the issues all day, but we have to have a way to, now that we know what your issue is, the first thing is, like you said, you listen to what God put inside of you. A lot of us are ignoring that. He said, my sheep hear my voice, and some people don't like that word sheep. Well, I'm not a sheep. Well, wolf, a dog, a cat, a divine being, or whatever you want, creature of life, you have something talking to you.
You are a sheep.
You know?
BSing with yourself. Look at what the sheep represented.
Exactly.
A flock, a following, one who's being guided by an individual. Wolf is a pack.
Exactly.
You just run with a group of people because y'all don't like mine. You run with a bunch of idiots.
You know, it's funny because the brain is very intelligent. Because when they know they're about to hear the truth and they want to avoid it, they will find all types of interesting ways to either get offended.
That's it.
Or to feel like they know everything.
That's it.
Or I already understand it. If you understood the answer, you wouldn't be listening to this.
If you understood the answer, you wouldn't be in the situation that you're in right now either.
And the thing is, you may be prepared for what you're going through now, but there's another step. You still got life to live. So the other thing is recognizing that voice, listening to it, and taking the actions. Some of us don't know enough. And so another thing is seeking to read. Read, my brother. Read, my sister. And it's not just the Bible, you know, and it's not just the Quran. There are books written on some of these things that you need to go deeper. Those are guiding books, okay? You got it there. Now you need to go a little further. Now you have a good background. You got a good solid foundation. But if you want to go into business, and let's say you want to go into a drink business, right? You can't. Some of us will read and be religious all we want. But you have to go and learn and perfect yourself and have an understanding. And see, in all you're getting, get understanding. Ooh. See, a lot of us have knowledge. I know to know something don't mean shit. Now you see why I ain't no pastor. It don't matter what the hell you know. You know, a lot of us are wise, but do you understand what you are doing? Do you understand? To have an understanding means to put your knowledge into wisdom and your wisdom into action. And that's why I say in all you're getting, get an understanding. And so a lot of us say, oh, I don't like that word because I don't stand under. Look, you know what we mean. When you get an understanding, when you really come into the comprehension of something, that puts you into the action of doing something about it. And so when you see that thing coming up on your timeline, or you see that person and you see that thing edging you at night, you know to do something about it. There are people that you can talk to that are not in your circle. Stop telling all your business to everybody. Everybody don't need to know all your business. Some of us are going to people that we think are friends, and they don't need to hear what you're going through. That's why you have a therapist. That's why you go into prayer. That's why you read, so you can understand what you're doing, so you can educate yourself into what your next step is. And so for a lot of us, the solution is take a goddamn break. Take that vacation. You sitting up there with 57 hours, 87 hours, you sitting up there, you done made all this money, and you sitting up, you haven't taken your wife out, you haven't taken your boyfriend out, you haven't taken your husband out, your kids ain't been to the movies in God knows how long, your mama ain't seen you, you said you're working, and it's like, okay, when I hit this milestone, well, how many milestones are you gonna hit? When are you going to celebrate your wins? When are you going to recognize you made it?
That's the journey I was talking about. You got to enjoy. Sit there and be like, again, just turned 40. And in turning 40, I had to sit here.
You 40. No, I'm
for shizzle, no, that's Snoop Dogg. But in turning 40, I had to sit and honestly think of, one, how many of my friends didn't make it?
Yeah.
Literally had one killed the other year. Last year, actually 2 last year. So they didn't make this year. So now you got to be thankful for that part.
Yeah.
Then thankful of, like you said, the wins that you had, that job that you got that you didn't think you were going to get, the promotion, the ability to get the apartment or the house that you got. These are all wins because it's a step up in your life. You were doing something today that you weren't doing yesterday. And like you said, I'm getting more to the point where I'm just, because most often people give me compliments. I'm like, oh, yeah, one, I do say thank you. It's by the grace of God. I always get that back to him because I don't want to be arrogant. At the same time, you also have to be like, yes, I am. Thank you very much. Because you have to appreciate where you are. Because remember, as they say, remember the days when you prayed for where you are right now?
Yeah.
So do not be arrogant. Have humility. Something else just that we mentioned. Yeah. Remembering where we used to be, and the arrogance will take you where you're not gonna get there, man. Like, yeah, used to be's don't make no honey, and you had all this $1 million, and you used to think, and you remember when you used to try this. All right, but where are you at now?
Yeah.
And then other question, like you always say, what did you do along the way? Who did you help? And this is something I was always taught, that along the way, help people. Because if you don't help people, the same people that you meet when you're going up be the same people you meet when you're going down. Didn't understand it until I got in the situation. I saw it. But if along my way up, I'm always helping people. So when you need something, if I can help, I help.
Yeah.
So when you're on your way down, you may not have to go from the 100th floor back down to the first floor. You may drop down to the 50th floor because on the 50th floor, somebody you help.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you, bro. Cool. Like I was hearing the story about this brother's a millionaire right now. Friend of my father. I went and had to meet him with him earlier today. He was he was making it in the 90s. Him and my father were working together on some projects. By like the 2000s, he was balling. And then by like 2010, he was broke. And he went to go work for a friend of ours in his office and was making like $10 an hour at that point. But he had helped the man on his way up.
Yeah.
So on his way down, the man said, I can't do what you're doing right there, but I can give you something just to keep you on your feet for now.
Yeah.
So it gave him an opportunity to stable himself back out again. And now he's back up again. So you helping people keep you up. Humility. Not always thinking I'm the man. No, I'm not the man. I am a reflection of God. I'm striving to be a reflection of him. So if I'm striving to be a better person on a daily basis, then I don't have to worry about what I did. This is what he's allowing me to do. So we just talking.
No, but that's the truth, because a lot of us, it's not hard to really make it to the top if you have ambition. If you're absolutely ruthless, you can step on, squash.
Yeah.
But the thing is, first of all, it's who you become on that journey, right? And the other thing is, there's always, what I've learned is positions are temporary. Ooh. People are forever. Ooh. On your way to your journey, what have you done? Can you live? Because a lot of folks are not sleeping because they can't look at that person in the mirror. Looking at the man in the mirror. Or you remember that old movie, Never Ending Story. There was a for those of y'all who are not born in the 1900s,
these old people.
There was this. It was about this kid reading this book. But anyway, there was a warrior that got to a point in the book where he has to face this mirror to really see who he is, and it's like this adventure, right? So there are some warriors who make it past all these different obstacles and avoid death. And this is like the biggest trial to actually face this mirror. And the little guy, dwarf thing is explaining, he says some people get to this mirror and they go out of their mind screaming, never being the same again for what that reflection that they see. And a lot of men, especially men, a lot of people, when they look at what they call success, and a lot of times the mirror is not a physical mirror. A lot of times the thing is when they're going to sleep at night or when they have that quiet time or when they're just driving, because you're by yourself and you have to reflect on that thing. You can't move from yourself. A lot of, I'm finna move, I'm finna leave and go to Atlanta, or I'm finna go over here. I'm gonna go and get me a wife in another country. And the thing is, you still there. You got the house, you got the business, you got the car, but now it's you. Some people have done some very nefarious things to get the spouse that they want. And the thing about the journey is who you're developing. It's the person that you develop to. It's not about what happens in the journey. It's what happens to you. And so as you reach what you call success, the success thing is not what you obtain. It's who you obtain. And so for those who don't understand how connected we are, you never do anything by yourself. And for those who have used people or who have changed certain aspects of themselves, now they have to face who they really are. And either that's gonna make you or break you.
3 fingers.
Like if you got to fight in that you know, you can show up to that fight where it used to be 1-on-1, like you were talking about before, right? Now you're getting jumped. So you either gonna ball up or you're gonna turn into Bruce Lee. Who did you develop into?
Right.
You know what I mean? And so if you look back and you see Bruce Lee, you can deal with that. But if you look back and you that dude on World Star balled up on the ground with Twisted Tea juice on your face, you have to deal with that. And you know, it's one of those things where we look and go, I remember when. So as you're reflecting back on that person or those times, the thing is, the you that exists 20 years from now would give anything to be the you right now.
Oh my goodness.
So you have to really enjoy the right now. Yeah, it's good to remember when, but you owe it to the you 20 years from now.
Like you said the other week, I think you said in the fact that you are the you that your childhood wanted or developed or was dreaming of, something like that. But the question is, are you really that person?
Oh man.
With your child be proud of you today.
Yeah.
And 20 years from now, would you be proud of today, would you be proud of you 20 years from now? Yeah. That's all goes into the decisions we're making now. If we're not making the right decisions, if we're steady looking in the past, remembering when I used to, coulda, shoulda, woulda, did. I was a high school football jockey. I did this back then, and you still walk around with your letter.
Right. 4 touchdowns in a single game.
Right. Got your Letterman's jacket on from high school, or that ring from college, and I used to be this. All right, that's cool. But what you ate yesterday is not making you, well, it kind of does. Well, what you did 4 years ago is not helping you today. I don't care what type of person you are. You could be a person who won the Heisman Trophy. Yeah. But is it paying you today? How is it helping your family today? You have to live in the present. Yeah. And the remembering when is cool. But in the remembering when and looking forward to the future, there should always be some balance. There should always be a lot of reality mixed into it, because you don't want to be, I remember when I was 18, I knew by the time I'm 21 I was going to be a millionaire, and now you're 22 years old and you're struggling to find a job. Now you're upset with everything. But Did you put yourself on the trajectory to be able to become a millionaire?
Yeah.
Did you do what was going to be needed to? And if you're not, don't be upset with yourself because of where you are now. You can be because you didn't do what you're supposed to do, but live in reality. Reality is that it's not always going to be there for everyone. Not everyone can be a chief. We got to have a bunch of Indians. We got to have the janitor sweeping the floor. Yeah. We got to have the farmer out there making the food for us.
Yeah.
We got to have everybody in every position. Find out what's going to work best for you. And once you live in the reality of you, or really once you live in the what God created you to be,
that's true.
Then you become happy.
That's it.
Then your life is fulfilled. As you said earlier, we are too often living under the pressure and the guise of what someone else says. So once we get up out of that, we'll start changing our life. And we're gonna go ahead and start, just close this out because be too long. This is a very heavy conversation right here.
Take a sip of that.
You're not taking. This is that brown liquor.
I'm telling you, this straight.
You just drink this and sit back and be like,
telling you.
Man, you gotta think about this for a second.
I'm telling you, this grow your hair on your chest.
Yeah, yes, but it's all in fun. It's all in love because. Are we doing these conversations with each other on a regular basis? And that becomes the thing. Yeah. Like I keep saying these 3 fingers because we point to other things, but the 3 that's pointing back to us, are we dealing with, are we getting that real understanding of things? That's and if we're not, then you're living in a false reality. So, Tim, close this out, my brother.
Man, look, I appreciate y'all coming out with us. This is a very enjoyable one. Y'all go ahead and write, comment, and subscribe. We are streaming on everything. And if you know something, tell somebody.
Tell somebody.
This is Tim Hargrove, Brother Dark Shining Light.
This is Brother Yusuf, the groove in your left thigh. I'm becoming the funk in your right, baby. So let us enjoy the evening. Thank y'all for tuning in to another Cocktails and Conversation. I swear we're going to do another one of these. I'm not going to lie to you. That we not. We probably going to do something like it. And it's not on purpose. It's just that the spirit moves you how the spirit moves you.
That's
so
it.
Love y'all. Be easy. Holler at y'all later.
Peace. Take a sip on it.
Out.